How's it going, folks? Instead of the normal gameplay content for this morning's Pokemon Unite video, we're going to be going over some patch notes. So we had a patch drop about 5 or 6 hours ago for Pokemon Unite. It brought with it a new character as well as some balance changes. So let's take a peekaboo at our new character to start. So Blissey has been added to the game here. And honestly, I'm really excited for this edition. Not only is Blissey an additional healer, previously we only had Eldegoss, but just another support unit. So I'm hoping that between this edition and some of the small changes that we're going to go over in a second to Snorlax, that we're going to see some team comp diversity open up a little bit in terms of what's optimal at the top levels. Let's take a peekaboo at Blissey here. So starts off with Pound, that then turns into an Egg Bomb or a Helping Hand. And then the secondary is a Heal Pulse that notably restores the users as well as a designated ally. And I really like that the healing moves on this character not only heal your target, but they also heal yourself. So they'll basically never force the user to try and choose between saving themselves and saving a teammate. So even if you end up with a Blissey that ends up wanting to be a little bit selfish and heal themselves, they're going to also be encouraged to work with other people, which is great. The ultimate here dashes to a designated ally, gives it an egg, grants it a shield, and it intercepts some damage that the target would take for a little while, and it throws opposing nearby Pokemon that comes into contact with. The Natural Cure removes all status conditions from this Pokemon, and then it goes on a short cooldown after it triggers, which is sweet. So you'll be able to get out of things like sleep and other things like that, which is excellent. And then the basic attack gets boosted after a couple of hits to get a little more damage. Pretty typical that we see. Blissey is 8,000 coins or 460 premium currency in the store. In addition to this new supporter mod coming, we also had a number of small balance changes. So Nintendo does not give us exact specifics in their patch notes. One of the reasons why I've waited to do this. There are always lovely people on the Reddits that farm the exact detailed changes. So Stealth Rock has been improved. 8-second cooldown to 6-second cooldown. Damage increase here by a factor of almost 50%. Rock Tome damage increased by a small amount. Garchomp got a small movement speed increase. Bulldoze got its damage increased, which is sweet. And Dragon Rush got its cooldown reduced. So I'm not sure if this is enough to push Garchomp into being playable. Honestly, the movement speed is probably the biggest change here. Being able to get away from other people that might otherwise be running you down in the early game is really important because Gible is very squishy. So between this movement speed increase and Sand Attack, you might be enough to sustain the early game a little bit, but definitely be worth checking. I love Garchomp as a mon, and I'm sad that it fell off a little bit as I moved up in the ranks. This is probably something I'll be poking at again on stream. Pre-patch 10th percentile. This is good context. Post-patch 85th percentile. So that's a big change. So the lowest are about 36 and the highest are about 3,800. So you're going to outrun most of the other Pokemon in the game with this movement speed increase. So the context here is really good. Slowbro. The stun effect was decreased. I'm going to be interested to see I was kind of surprised to see Slowbro changes, and it's not a direct nerf to the Pokemon in general, it's kind of a side grade, because they downgraded Surf, which was the more popular move, but they increased the amount of damage that Scald does overall. We got a 33%-ish increase here, 1,500 up to 2,000 after the burn, so it'll be interesting to see. I do like that, and honestly, I wish we saw this on more Pokemon in this patch, where they're making the primary move worse and making the worst move better to kind of encourage build diversity among the different Pokemon. Snorlax had a number of small changes here. So all nerfs on Snorlax, except for Flail, which makes me happy to see because, again, I think Snorlax was the one like S tier or S tier plus Pokemon in the game, and I'm glad that they're scaling it back. In addition to giving us Blissey kind of open up those supporter / crowd control roles a little bit. So Heavy Slam, very minimal downgrade, about 5%. Block, 1 second to 0.5 seconds. I know that doesn't sound like a big change. It is a 25% decrease, but more importantly, this small amount of difference means if Snorlax isn't literally shoving you into a wall, which will still happen on occasion and lock you out, I think, this should make it easier to get out from under the block if it's pushing you anywhere other than up against a wall, which is good. The frustrating part, especially about block, was when it just like pushed you constantly backward and there was no counterplay movement getting out and around it. Flail. They made Flail. Nobody was picking Flail. They made this better. It says move upgrade, and there's no detail here, so I'm not exactly sure what was upgraded there. Maybe it must be something other than the damage or cooldown, right? Because they've got the damage and cooldown tracks and everything. So maybe we'll have to play with some Flail Snorlax and see what that is like. They downgraded Power Nap, 100% max HP to 70% max HP, and really they're all on Buddy Barrier, right? So think of this as 140% to 110%, which is still a decent drop off. Greninja had some. I love all of these changes on Greninja. So they made Smoke Screen. They lengthened the cooldown, and I believe this move downgrade said that it made the jump distance a little bit shorter. What it moves you, which is good too. The Water Shuriken had their cooldown reduced from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. And this is a significant damage increase. So going from a total of 3,000 to a total of over 5,000 is almost double. And the cooldown went down 25%. So I kind of liked Water Shuriken. By the end of playing Greninja, I was solidly into Surf because Surf was the better move before this patch. But I think it's definitely worth going back and trying out some Shurikens here. You'll have less burst potential at the end, but the consistency of your damage when your opponents aren't super low will likely be higher with Shuriken here. They also decrease the cooldown of Double Team, which is sweet. So, nobody was taking Double Team over Smokescreen. Now there's more of a reason to. We're going from a 13 second to 9 seconds here. So there's a 4-second differential. You're going to use Double Team almost 50% more than you get to use Smokescreen as Greninja, which is nothing to scoff at. Couple of small battle item changes here. So eject button is going up to a 70-second cooldown. Honestly, probably not enough to put most people off of the eject button. It's probably still the best item by a lot. I imagine most people will keep using it. Goal getter down to 90 seconds. Maybe this makes some scoring builds a little bit better. Fluffy tail. We don't know exactly what the fluffy tail increase looks like. So I don't think we had a good measure of what it did before, but honestly, I think Fluffy Tail was one of the few non-eject button items that was very close to being playable before it got a buff here. And any amount of stat increase here on Fluffy Tail, I think likely makes it a must-have for five player compositions. I think being able to like solo your Dreadnought quicker or hammer Zapdos faster at the end when you finally put the entire team down is a big deal. And I'm going to try and make sure our compositions have at least one tail on them. I think moving forward, we often did before, but I definitely want them to have it now. X attack had a little bit increase on its attack. Maybe this is worthwhile. I'd seen some people taking X attack already, but I'm still skeptical that this is going to be worth having the mobility that eject button offers even at the 70-second cooldown. All right, bug fixes. Scald fixed a bug where the effect of Oblivious was not being activated due to steam damage. Wigglytuff fixed a bug where the Unite gauge could not be actively stored after use. Oh yeah, there was a bug on Wiggly where you couldn't kill creeps to regain extra Unite charge moves. So that's been fixed. Fixed a bug that caused movement speed increase while boosted attack was being prepared. So this is going to make it a little bit easier to get away from Cinderace, which is nice. Apparently, this was not desired behavior. Fixed a bug that caused the effect to work on an opponent Pokemon that were invisible / hiding in the grass. This is another one that I think a lot of people, myself included, thought this was a feature. And apparently this was not intended behavior, which this is a bug fix, but it is actually a subtle power level decrease to Alola and Ninetales, because being able to spot people in the grass was something that you did with your passive with some consistency with that Pokemon. Fixed a bug in which the frequency of activating Snow Warding would be increased while active. Gardevoir fixed a bug where the boosted attack did not lower their opponent's Pokemon special defense. Okay, so this is a power level upgrade to Gardevoir. It was not working as intended, so you're going to be getting a little bit more damage in because your boosted attacks are going to drop their special defense. So if you get your boosted attack off and then hit them with your special, you're going to hit them even harder. And Gardevoir already hit really hard, so this could be another, bug fix that is an upgrade. Added an effect to lower an opponent's Pokemon special defense when hit. Okay, and that stacks up. So this could potentially be a reason to take Psychic over the other attack that you'd previously been taking, because it combos with your other attack. You hit them with Psychic you hit them with like a boosted attack, you Psychic them, you hit them with the next one, and they're just gonna melt. Most likely you get that double special defense drop. Fixed a bug that prevented damage from being dealt to some wild Pokemon. I thought there was something a little off with Hurricane, but I also thought maybe it was in my head because I just hadn't played Cramorant before. But apparently there was an issue with that. Sweet. Please note that the changes in the data above aren't a perfect representation whether movability will be improved or weakened, as there are other factors that may be in play. Sweet. Look at that. That's sweet. At any rate, I think this patch overall was I don't think I disagree with any of the changes that they made in this patch. I think I would have enjoyed personally some more Slowbro style side grades to a variety of Pokemon to try and increase move diversity a little bit. Like, for example, I think Lucario, I'd like to see Power Up Punch pulled down a little bit and or Extreme Speed boosted to encourage move diversity there. And there's a number of Pokemon where you could do that, right? And we kind of had that on Snorlax in a way, right? Like, they downgraded Heavy Slam, which was the only attack competitive players ever took, and they've upgraded Flail. So stuff like that I would like to see where, we don't strictly make Pokemon worse, but we make them slightly different to encourage build diversity. So overall, very happy with this. I am going to be playing Unite live on stream this afternoon, Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon, hoping to get some 5 stacks with groups of Twitch subscribers for that. And we'll be back to a Pokemon Unite gameplay video tomorrow morning. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this type of patch review when we get a balance change or a new character, or if you think we should just stick to gameplay content here. Thanks for watching, and see you around real soon, folks.